everyone receives is a reflection of it. Dear Diary, today was a tough day. You see, here in Australia, we had a lottery today. 200 million. Not bad. Now you see, I visaged so hard that I was creating a life with it. Part of my manifestations, but I was putting myself out there to vibrate at a higher level. I was particularly looking at moving to a farming area or large lands, having fruit trees and vegetables and sustainable living. And as beautiful as that thought is, a realization came through today, which highlighted something within myself that hadn't been healed. I was so certain that I was going to be a part of it, or even win the whole lot. I'm not here to judge whether it was optimistic or not. This is just what I felt. And I checked my tickets and things came to mind that I believed in you, and I got certain numbers. But obviously I hadn't won the entirety. And it brought out of me anger, rage, frustration, just I don't care anymore, that type of attitude. And what was fascinating to witness was that type of attitude can quickly lead towards not hatred, but anger and frustration, not at anyone in particular, but just at the world in general. That is buried inside. Not just from that, not just from frustrations or occurrences throughout my life. No, it's because of the build-up of work being put in to look for a reward. And that, my friends, is the matrix. So even when we think we are free, it still has a mental hold upon us. Because our way of thinking was, I will do all this spiritual work and I will put in the effort and be rewarded for it. And when you're not rewarded for it after putting in all that effort, what happens? What are the feelings you witness and you observe? So I had to release that. And you do so in whatever way is beneficial to you. It could be screaming underwater, it could be punching a boxing bag, it could be a release of frustration and yelling, or just in thought. There are so many other ways the system tries to keep us there. But even when you realize it on the outside, the system has deep roots within. We can be the most humblest of people, the most caring of people. But deep within lies a sleeping agent. that stops us from creating the unity within the left and the right, within the masculine and the feminine, the joining of the left and right brain, the merging of the two. How can you truly know or love something if your inner is full of hatred or rage or anger? This was hidden there, that I was doing this or thinking I was doing this so that I would get a reward. That is fascinating to observe, witness, and heal, because it's not about that. That's just not my path. Maybe instead of thinking large scale with farmlands and all of this sort of stuff, is that who I am? I'm an artist. I'm a healer. I don't need such a large area, because then that would take up all my time. I would only need an area large enough to handle my paintings and my audio setup. Maybe a little vegetable garden here and there and some fruit trees, but have a large amount of area near a creek for calming, an area of Zen. We hear a lot about how people are wanting to go off grid and have a sustainable life. And these are quite important. I think it's worthy. But don't underestimate that becomes your life. For there is so much to do in maintenance, maintaining, upkeep. The funds have to be there, but it does become you. The initial setup requires the money, and that's where the struggle is. But once that's there, you can do that. But what if it's not your path? What if instead of being the farmer, you just support or you fix the current ones who are there? They know what they're doing. They're not disappearing. It doesn't mean you have to go and create your own and take away that use. No, it's you fix the system that controls them. You support local farmers and the organics, and you put money and invest in that. So then at my home, I would only need to plant flora and have fauna that is local or native to the region, that brings bees to pollinate it all. And maybe I can have some fruit trees here and there, but it's not my responsibility to be the farmer. So that in itself, when I think of it from a different perspective, offers me a new point of view. A new understanding that we can often look too much, to be too much, to do too much in the current society or the current consciousness or universe. And we forget who we are because we try to achieve a spiritual nature that we think about it incorrectly. So I'm an artist, so that's what I do. But I support the things that I'm passionate about, build the community. There's no reason why we have to start from square one all over again, where everyone grows their own, because then the farmers have all this land that no one needs. And then they lose their income. What about everyone else? It's not about that. We don't start again and rebuild. We support the existence of the original ones. We remove all the pesticides and chemicals and the mistreatment. And we build our own supermarket locally within a community. So you rebuild the community, you don't rebuild the world. And then you infiltrate that into the current system, and then all of a sudden it's all locally grown, and you can go to the supermarkets and it's there. And I do my art that I'm passionate about. And my path is this way. For you see, I forgot who I was by trying to be someone who I wanted to be, but isn't who I am in today's reality, in the present moment. I still had inner rage that needed to be removed, which was a part of the frustration keeping me bound to the 3D reality. I don't hate or rage or have anger towards anything, but that level that creates that, that's not human. That's not natural. That is a creation. So my belief in money, in winning that, will still be there. You never know. It may have happened to occur or had happened to occur. So I would understand this and release that rage. For if it's there, then you're continuously bringing it with you that hasn't been healed. Once you heal it, then we move on. So with that, peace and love, take care.